Start out by saying sorry for the voiceover. I did a pin blink swap with Bob over at RJB Woodturners, and this is the little video I made of turning the pin. As you can see here, I favor the skew. The pin blink actually turned very easily. I was afraid it might give me a little bit of trouble with the multiple pieces, but nice easy cuts with an extremely sharp skew. Can't see it right here, but I keep a diamond card sharpener. I think it's a 600 grit right by my bench at all times, and every so often I'll actually touch up the edge or hone it with the card sharpener instead of having to take it back over to the grinder every time I need to resharpen. I edited out most of the parts of the video of me sharpening my skew, as I know that's not very entertaining. Right here I noticed a small void in between two pieces of wood, so I rubbed some of the shavings down into the void and hit it with a little bit of thin CA. When I went ahead and put the CA over top of the wood shavings, I decided to douse the entire blank in thin CA as a little bit of extra assurance. That's just something I do to kind of stabilize the blank without actually stabilizing it. I do it with a lot of the unstabilized pearls I turn also. I'll drizzle a little thin CA as I turn them. After the thin CA set up fully, I went ahead and finished turning it down to the bushings on both sides, leaving it slightly raised in the center. I kind of like a more rounded silhouette instead of a straight off pin blank. The kit that I decided to turn with this was a Wall Street 3 from Woodcraft, as Bob had already pre-drilled and squared off the ends in a Sierra tube fashion, and the Wall Street 3 takes the same dimension blank as the Sierra blanks. I went with the Wall Street 3 because it was slightly larger diameter than the messes that I had been turning from Woodturners. I think they were a 0.47 diameter bushings, with a Wall Street 3 is a 5.4, so about a half of a tenth of an inch larger in diameter. I figured the extra meat might make this a little bit better looking blank, show it off a little bit better than turning it down to a smaller diameter. After turning down to the bushings, I noticed I had a little bit of chip out right next to one of the bushings, so I rubbed in some shavings and touched it off with a little bit of thin CA just to kind of fill in the tear out. After turning with the skew, most of the times I start out with 320 and then 400 grit before I apply my CA finish. also, before applying the CA finish, I like to use a little bit of denatured alcohol to clean off the blank. Just have to make sure that you allow it plenty of time to dry before applying your finish. As you can see here, I'm using Type Bond Medium for my finish. I may just switch over not too long ago from Stick Fast to Type Bond for finishing. And I have to say, I do think that the Type Bond gives a little bit higher sheen and more of a glass-like appearance over the wood. I also changed up my method of applying the CA, where I put a thin strip on the paper towel and actually spin the blank by hand instead of using the lathe to spin the blank. The slower speed seems to apply the finish a little bit thicker. This blank was giving me a little bit of an issue getting a nice smooth finish, so I actually sanded and then reapplied finish twice in the process. Anytime you do sand CA, you need to clean it with denatured alcohol before applying another layer of CA, or you'll wind up with little white divots in your blank where you had a low spot. Or at least that's been my experience. I had a few small high ridges, so I tapped it with a little bit of 600 grit before using the Zona paper for my finish. I also switched over to Zona paper instead of the micro mesh pads, and I will have to say that I'm thoroughly pleased with the Zona paper over the micro mesh. The finishing of the CA seems to go quicker and with less mistakes from rubbing through my finish. Use the turtle wax polishing compound as my plastic polish of choice. I use it on my acrylic blanks as well as my CA. A couple applications and buff outs. Usually 2, maybe 3. And my camera actually died during the filming. I also use a BL buffing wheel and the blue Jeweler's Rouge to buff out the finish after the application of the plastic polish. And here I'm taking the bushings off of my blank where the CA kind of stuck to it. I had somebody mention tapping the bushings on the bed of your lathe to loosen CA, and I've had far less chips of the finish than just trying to pull and twist. The small tap seems to separate fine without any chip on the finish. Still have to sand off a small fingernail of CA that overlapped onto my bushings, but wasn't too bad in this application. After deciding which way I wanted the blank to go on the pen, since both bushings are the same diameter, you can spin it either which way, I chose where I wanted my clip at and pressed it together, and there is the finished product, finished pen. Like I said, it's a Wall Street 3 from Woodcraft. thoroughly pleased with it and was extremely excited to get to turn a blank from Bob. Thanks for watching. I'll put links to Bob's channel and Instagram, as well as my Instagram and Facebook account, in the notes below.